Okay, good morning students. Students, as we know, tenses are the fundamental pillars of English grammar. In the last video lecture, we discussed about tense, the first part of tense, in which we have discussed about simple tenses and continuous tenses. In simple tenses, we discussed simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense. Then we discussed about continuous tenses, that is present continuous, past continuous and future continuous. Students, now in this lecture we are going to learn the remaining 6 tenses, and let us discuss about perfect tenses. Perfect tenses, in which let us discuss about present perfect tense. As we know, present perfect tense, as its title or the name suggests, that it refers an action that began in the past and true in the present. Means in this tense, the action is already completed or already fulfilled. Now we have to take into consideration the fact that we should know the structure of present perfect tense, as we have done earlier in the earlier lecture. Let us discuss about the structure. The structure of present perfect tense, that is subject, then have has plus V3 means third form of verb, then object. Then the negative structure of present perfect tense, that is subject, have has plus not plus V3 plus object. And when we sometimes we have to write question structure, and so we should know question structure. The question structure of present perfect tense, that is have has, means have has comes at the beginning, or we write at the beginning, then subject, then V3, then object and question mark. Students, the question will be when we use have and when we should use has. When the subjects are I, we, you, they, we use have, and when the subjects are he, she, it, we have to use has. Students, let's take some examples of present perfect tense. Okay, here are some examples. He has sold his house. He has sold his house. In this sentence, the action of selling is completed. Means he has sold his house. Let's take another example. India has won the match. Means India has already won the match. Then I have finished my work. I have finished my work. Okay, in this way, there are some keywords used in present perfect tense. Let us know what are the keywords. The keywords are, we generally words used in present perfect tense. The words are recently, then already, just now, just before, so far, since, for, etc. Students, we use present perfect tense in order to express an action that happened already in the past tense, that is past perfect tense. When we discussed about past perfect tense, we have to take into consideration that it refers, means past perfect tense refers an action that completed before any other action in the past. Let us know the structure of past perfect tense, that is subject plus had plus V3 plus object. We use helping verb had in this tense. Then the negative structure, that is subject plus had plus not plus V3 plus object. Then the question structure of past perfect tense, that is had, we write had at the beginning of sentence, then we write subject, then we write the third form of the verb, that is V3 or past participle, then object, and finally question mark. Students, let's take some examples to make the things clear. Okay, here are some examples. You can see we had gone. In this sentence we use had gone, means the action is already completed in the past time. The next example, that is I sent gift. I had sent gift. Had sent is that is helping verb and main verb. Then I had reached at home, means I had reached at home. The next example, that is the kid had finished ice cream. Students, this tense, or in this tense, past perfect tense, we use some keywords, and here are some keywords or generally words, used words in this sentence. The keywords are before, after, never, just, by the time, for, etc. Students, we use past perfect tense, means in order to express an action that had happened before something else in the past, means past tense or in the past time is already fulfilled. Let's know the another perfect tense, that is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense express an action that will happen before another event in the future. Students, let's know the structure of future perfect tense. The structure of future perfect tense, that is affirmative structure of future perfect tense, that is subject plus will plus have plus V3 plus object. We use will have in this tense. Then subject, the negative structure of future perfect tense, that is subject plus will plus have plus not plus V3 plus object. Students, let's take some examples. Here are some examples. I will have worked. I will have worked. The next example, that is I shall have played football. I shall have played football. Students, there are some keywords or generally used words in future perfect tense, that is when, by the time, by next month, by next year, etc. Students, we use future perfect tense to express an action that will already happen in future or will happen before another action in future. Okay, students, now we see the perfect tenses, perfect continuous tenses. In perfect continuous tenses, the first tense is present perfect continuous tense. In present perfect continuous tense, the affirmative structure of present perfect continuous tense, let's know present perfect continuous tense refers an action that is started in the past and partly completed at the time of speaking and still continuous in the future time. Now the structure of present perfect continuous tense, we use subject, then have has, then been plus verb ing plus object. Now while considering the negative structure of present perfect tense, the structure of negative structure, that is subject plus have has plus not plus been plus verb ing. Then the yes no type structure, of present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense. That is, we use have as at the beginning of a sentence, then we use subject, then we use been, then verb ing, then object and question mark. The example, that is, they have been working for 10 hours. Means the action of working started in the past and it is not completed. It still continue in the present time and it will continue in the future time. Now the keywords used in this tense, the keywords are since or for. The keywords are since or for used in this tense. Students, we use this tense but very rare. The next perfect continuous tense, that is past perfect continuous tense. When we are talking about past perfect continuous tense, this tense denotes an action that was finished at some definite time in the past but which had been going on before it was finished. Now the structure of past perfect continuous tense, that is subject, then had, then been, then verb ing, then object. Now the negative structure of past perfect continuous tense, that is subject plus had plus not plus been plus verb ing plus object. Now the yes no type structure of past perfect continuous tense, that is had plus subject plus been plus verb ing plus object and question mark. There is one example of past perfect continuous tense, that is the horse had been gazing since morning. In this sentence you can see the subject, that is horse, the helping verb, that is had, been gazing since morning. There are some keywords used in this tense. The keywords are since and for. When the action is happening from the past and it is still continuing for the long time, we use this tense. Now the next tense is, next and the last tense is future perfect continuous tense. Let's see future perfect continuous tense. Now students, let's see the final and the last tense, that is future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense, it refers an action which will begin in the past, which will begin and still going on until a point in future time. Students, the structure of future perfect continuous tense, that is the affirmative structure of future perfect continuous tense, that is subject will have plus been plus verb ing plus object. Now the negative structure of future perfect continuous tense, that is subject will have been plus not plus verb ing plus object. Now the question structure of future perfect continuous tense, students, that we use shall and will at the beginning of a sentence, then we use have been, then we use verb ing, then the remaining word of the sentence and question mark. Now for example, students, there are some keywords used in this tense. Keywords are when, by the time, then by next week, by next month, etc. For example, there is one example given here. You have been working or you have been doing this work 10 years, means you have already began, or in the future time for 10 years you will have been doing this work. Students, in this way we have completed. As far as future perfect continuous tense is concerned, we use this tense but very rarely. but in our day-to-day life we rarely use this tense. But in order to know the structure, affirmative structure, negative structure, question structure of this tense and example, so I have told you the structures of this tense and one example. And we use this tense, future perfect continuous tense, when we are talking about some action in future that will continue for a long period of time. Okay, in this way, in today's lecture we have completed the remaining 6 tenses, that is perfect tenses and perfect continuous tenses. Thank you.